All right, everybody, welcome back to Will It Run? This is going to be part two to repairing the brakes and axle seals and stuff like that on the Ford 2N tractor. Today, we're going to be actually starting to work on this old tractor. I've been working on it a little bit off the camera, off the scene, trying to get some stuff done. We got the whole tractor tore apart, basically. All that's taken out. You can kind of see through the other side. We got a new brake on. I did do this, like I said, I did some of this off camera. And I'm going to be demonstrating how I did this when I work on it. But all this is brand new. All the brake shoes are brand new, new springs, everything like that. This has been cleaned and degreased and all that good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the other side. I got done quite a bit on this side. Here is one of the old brake shoes. You can see it's pretty thick still. It's just saturated in grease and oil. So they ain't no good no more. Here's one of the old springs that came off. I have new springs. I got a kit, so I'm just going to replace all of it. And my dad dropped me off a tool to let me borrow two to work on it with. And I got the brake shoes off, and it's about time. We're going to go ahead and start working on this, degreasing everything and working on it. So we're going to go ahead and get to it today. That brake drum, the sure seal failed on that one, but this one over here, the sure seal was fine, but we tore it off anyway. But we're going to go ahead and get to work on this tractor, so I say we go ahead and start working on it and stop talking. Let's do it. All right, everybody, so we got the brake thing, we got it all cleaned up, and we got the new shoes ready. We're gonna go ahead and start to assemble this brake. So basically, we need to make sure everything's greased good. I took some grease and greased these points where the brake's right on and contact. You can see it when you take them off because they're very shiny. You'll notice there's really shiny parts right here. There's two on each side. And right there was really shiny. You want to take some grease and you want to kind of rub some new grease on there just to protect everything, the metal and all that good stuff. So now that I got that grease, and I'll make sure that it's grease. You want to make sure that it's grease because it really does keep the wear off your brakes and stuff. So the next thing we got to do is we got to do this. Let me show you what these are. So right here, these are what go in them shafts. That wool shaft right there, it goes in, and the brake shoe sits through that slot. And you don't have to degrease this before you don't have to grease this before you put it back in. Just make sure it's good and just put it back in. When you put it back in, you want the big part to be facing towards you. So you can see it's got like a beveled end on it. You want the big part to be facing towards you. So you don't want this, you want this when you slide it in. So we're gonna go ahead and put those in there. Again, we're gonna have these facing towards me. Okay, I had to do some of this work off camera because it did take me a while. I had to get a little bit of help with that big spring right there. One thing that I can tell y'all now is if y'all have this right here happen when you're working, just a little bit of grease gets on your shoe. Take some brake clean. Don't matter how much. Don't like saturate it completely with it. But take some brake clean in a very clean rag and get some of this grease off that shoe. But like I said, you don't want to saturate it completely. I mean, don't soak it. But when you're working on these springs, it's really hard to do. There's a pin right here that goes from the back of this through the dust shield. And it goes through, and there's a slot, and that slot has to line up with this, and it's hard to do. And there's a flat piece that goes on the bottom, and the more beveled piece goes on the top, and there's a spring in the middle, and it goes over like that, and you have to line that up, and then once you get it lined up, you push that through, and then you twist it. You can see where it's twisted, it's at an angle. It's kind of like a cross. That way it don't pop back out, and that's what holds your brake shoe on. And for some reason, that's still wiggling. I guess that's fine. I guess that's supposed to wiggle a little bit. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. where I put it fully back together. When you put these in, there's a few, I done showed you both of that, I done showed you all that. But that's really all there is to doing that. It's easier said than done. When you do this job, this is not a how-to replace brakes video. This is a demonstration of me doing my tractor, and there's a better video on YouTube of this video of working on brakes. It's like an hour and some long, and the guy that I watched, he actually took the axle housing out and was working on all that, so he really did a good job. And over there on that drum, the sure seal failed. I don't know if I told you about that at the beginning of the video, but the sure seal is what this is right here. I'll pick her up here. This is a sure seal, and it, however, it failed and wasn't doing its job, and oil was leaking through, the differential was coming through, getting into the drum. Your sure seals can fail if you don't put them on properly. When you put, I'll show you how to put them on when I do it. I ain't gonna explain it because then I'll be explaining it and then doing it. I'll do it while I explain it. So, we're working on it, guys. This tractor's getting better and better. Like I said, after I get the drums back on, I'm probably gonna, like after I get the drums and brakes back together, before I put the tires on, I'm probably gonna really, like, give this tractor a nice shower and get it cleaned up with some soap, and because this tractor's got oil, grease, everything on it. That ain't good. I just now noticed that. Oh, heck. We got differential in the floor, or hydraulic fluid in the floor, where I pulled that bucket out, and apparently more has leaked out of the tractor. And where the sure seal failed in this one, it's got oil in there, and I just dumped it into that bucket. So, yeah, you can see the bearing down in there. But we're going to get it done. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on getting the grease from these bearings. We're going to try to get as much out as we possibly can. It's not going to be perfect. And then I got some new grease right here, and we're going to repack these bearings. And when you pack bearings, you really want to pack them good. So you want to make sure they're going through the bearings and not just on top of the bearing. You want to go in the bearings, and you do want to saturate the bearings. And then after we get that done, what we'll do is, after we get all that cleaned on, I will maybe hit this up with some brake clean one more time to make sure it's really nice and good. And then after that, we'll start installing the sure seal. And after the sure seal comes on, we will put this on. Now, I found out the reason of what caused the whole incident in the beginning. It wasn't only that sure seal. The last person about 50, 60 years ago that replaced these brakes did not put a gasket on or shim on the axle housing that goes from the axle housing to the actual brake drum. It was metal on metal. And what happens is there's the axles that go up into here. You can see that it's just a straight hole through there. And let me prop this up so I can explain it.
Okay, so now that I'm explaining this a little bit better, the way y'all can actually see the tractor and I can explain it. So basically, the axle, right there's an axle, okay? There's two axles. They go on each side of the tractor, obviously. So what them axles do is they go into the tractor and they meet in the middle. However, the shims is what keeps the whole thing working properly. It protects your axles from wearing in the insides and the outside. And what you want to do is when you turn that hub over there, you want this one on this side to go the opposite. So you want them to rotate opposite. Now, where this had no gaskets or shims, the axles were like on top of each other, and when you turned the drum, it pulled it with it. You don't want it to do that because it's got a gear in there that's supposed to make it rotate opposite. Now, what the gasket does, it also prevents leaks, which is what happened in this case, but it also wore out my axle. Thankfully, it wasn't wore out too bad where it used to be hardly ever driven. It sat like this for many years, and the gaskets not only keep the leaks from leaking, but it pulls them axles apart so they can function properly. And whoever last did that did not put any gaskets in there in the axle housing. So I will be looking at this tractor a little more now that I know somebody's worked on it and didn't do a very good job. That's how everything failed. I will be looking at a lot more stuff. I did get the engine running good. My dad did a lot of work on the engine when he got it from my granddad. So the engine working great. The engine was rebuilt I don't know how many years ago. And I'm wondering if there's a problem with that too, because there's a loud chirping noise when this thing is running, and my dad seems to think it has compression issues. So here soon we're going to get a compression gauge and do a compression test on this tractor as well. But for now, I want to worry about getting these brakes fixed on it because I need brakes, because I have come so close multiple times to getting in wrecks with this tractor, going up and down the road, taking it place to place, showing it to people, parade stuff. It's dangerous. This tractor has a Sherman transmission. It is made to go fast on road. So when you're going fast on a tractor like this, you really want to be able to stop it. There was actually about a month ago, I was going down the back road on it, just joyriding around, and a car pulled out in front of me when I was driving, and I slammed the brakes, and it didn't stop. And what I had to do was turn the wheel over and drive it through the woods, because the road was going down that way. I was going down a hill, and a car pulled out on this street, and there was a woods right there on both sides, so I couldn't get it to stop. It may have slowed it down a bit, but it would not stop. So what I had to do was very gently turn my steering wheel to go towards that way and run down the side of the road off the road, because I didn't want to hit that car. I'm on a tractor. If the law gets called, you already know that tractor's not going to win its case. So we're gonna get these brakes fixed, because they're our main priority. They're very helpful in situations like that. The grease I'm going to be using to pack the bearings, I got it at Advanced Auto Parts. Y'all probably heard of that place. It's got some red grease right there. It kind of looks like a melted gummy. That right there, that's what I'm using, Farm. And it seems to be okay. Like I said, it's grease. I mean, I guess grease is grease. You know, what can go wrong with grease? Here soon, we're going to be working on the snowblower again. We got it worked on, and we have a lot more problems with that than we thought we were, but that's another video to talk about. But these brakes are good. The only thing we got to do now is work on these hubs and get all that sealed back off, degreased, cleaned, and this tractor will be pretty much done for right now until next time we replace the rims, because they need replaced, because calcium chloride tore them up. So, but yeah, I'll see y'all when we start working on this stuff a little more. See you then.
Alrighty, everybody. So, I've been working on these bearings. I got as much grease out as I could over these bearings here, and I'm going to go ahead and say it's okay, because the grease wasn't too bad. I mean, it does its job. It's greasy. It ain't completely contaminated. We contaminated a tad bit, but I'm going to go ahead and repack these bearings. Alright, everybody. So, I got this first one packed up full of grease. It's really good and packed in there. Might look like there's a few holes, but it's all packed. Trust me, and I'll probably end up running a little bit more in right before I put the sure seal on. So next thing I gotta do with this is clean it up, degrease it again, and get all that smoothened out, just to get it where it's smooth and even on the top, so we can add the sure seal. But that one right there is packed. Took almost half a can of this to pack it, but it's packed and it sounds good going up and down. Can't really hear it. It makes like a little noise. It makes you know how grease sounds, but like I said, it sounds good. It's moving around good. It's not having any dry spots. It's all lubricated and greased. And then after this one gets, till I knock over a whole can of brake clean. After this right here gets done draining, it's still dripping a little bit where the sure seal on this one did fail. I will have to repack that bearing and degrease that, but I'll work on that tomorrow. I'll let that sit in that bucket overnight. But this is nice and packed. I think this will be good for a while. And here soon we'll go ahead and get ready to put that sure seal on. And we're getting close to being done. We're way more than halfway done with this. Hopefully in a few weeks this will be done. I gotta wait on some more gaskets to come in for the plugs at the bottom for the differential, and then some gaskets for that right there that goes around the hub. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here and I'll see y'all when we go ahead and start doing sure seals. So I'll see y'all then. All right, everybody. So it's been a few days and we're getting ready. We got the bearings greased and ready for the seals and everything. So I got to put the seals on, and I couldn't get it. So I got Davey down here. He couldn't get it. We could not get the seals on. He brought a pipe that fits perfectly over the seal. We brought a few tools to get it on. It wouldn't go. And there was a little bit of burrs in the hub where we take the old seals off. And Davey was saying, I could probably get it. Just give me time and I'll get it on there. And I said, no. I said, I want it done right. I want to make sure that it's not going to leak again for a very long time. So I took the brake drums to our tractor, tractor dealership. They work on tractors, sell new tractors. They work on all kinds of tractors. So they're going to get those back. They're going to take everything and look at it, make sure it's all good, and they're going to go over it and press them seals on, make sure it's all good, and then they'll give it back to me. I think they charge like $90 an hour. It's expensive, but I'd rather pay that price just to get it fixed right than have to do it all again and pay more money to redo it. So they're working on that, and I got the caps off. I got all the differential and hydraulic fluid drained out of the tractor. Everything's drained. Right there's my bucket full of fluid. I'm about to pour that other bucket. It's been sitting overnight in there. I took the caps that came out of the differential and hydraulic and transmission, and I put them in a bucket of parts cleaner. That stuff right there is about $50, close to it. So they're sitting. Thankfully, I can reuse this stuff though, but I can reuse it. So I've reused this. I've soaked a carburetor in this. I've soaked a ton of stuff in that. But we're gonna go ahead and check that out and see how it's looking today. We're going to take a brush to it, like a little wire brush to it, scrape all that grease out of the threads. That's mainly why I put it in there, because all the grease at the threads. And we're gonna get it all cleaned up and where it's supposed to be. So let's go ahead and get to that.
Alrighty, everybody. So we're gonna go ahead and see what this does. And the parts cleaner that I'm using is Gunk. Here, I'll show you. So this right here is the stuff that I'm using. It is Gunk parts cleaner.
Alright, everybody, there's really nothing else to film for right now until I get those brake drums back. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and end this right here, in this part. So be expecting a part 3 to come out maybe next week or something like that. But we got a lot of stuff done onto the tractor. The only thing we got left to do was get the hubs back, get that one hub put back together, and attach and install the brake onto it, and bolt that all up, put it back onto the tractor, and change hydraulic fluid. And that really should be it, really, other than some small minor steps in between. But I think that's basically what we're going at right now. Throw the tires back on the end and we're going to test her out. But we'll have to see. But I'm going to end it here before my video gets too long, before I take up too much storage. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here, and I'll see you on part 3. See you guys.